Hi, this is Custom Media Creations coming at you with another custom review. Today we'll be looking at my Core Class Transformers custom paint jobs, and I'm particularly happy with how they came out. I reckon they look great, and you'll see why. My main goal was to actually make them all G1 accurate, so they're cartoon accurate to the animation, and Ravage just fell over there. That was unintended. I went to take off Megatron from the stand and Ravage sort of got in the way. So we'll be starting off with Starscream. Now this was a lot of fun to make. It took a lot of trial and error, but I'm very happy with how he came out, particularly the torso region. So I'll give you a full 360 view, and we'll start off with the legs. So as you can see, I've added blue to the thrusters over there, and I've added dark grey highlights to some areas to make it colour coordinated. Over here we have a red waist. The wings now have red stripes on them. The waist is painted red all the way around and below. I've also broken up the torso with a nice neat grey to colour match with the plastic, because for some reason Hasbro decided to paint the whole thing red, which is inaccurate. But they didn't paint the sides red for some reason, so I did that myself. Starscream also now has a nice little smirk to fit with his personality, which I'm very happy and pleased with. So that's pretty much it for Starscream, but yeah, he looks great, I think, and I'm very happy with how it came out. So there you go. Next, we're going to review Megatron. So here's Megatron. Not a lot has changed with him. Like, yeah, he's got a few distinct changes. Like, you can see that he hasn't got back kibble anymore. And I made the turret on his shoulder more visible by using a Lego lightsaber. So as you can see, pretty much the only changes are he's got a smirk. I coloured in the eyebrows on his head to make it G1 accurate. I also gave him the red around the arms, which came out really nice. All it was a red graphic marker, and because of the metallic plastic, it actually came out really good, especially with metallic highlights. I also made the feet silver, and to break up the colour and also make it G1 accurate, because in the cartoon, Megatron had grey feet. So I don't know why they didn't paint that either. Probably budget issues. Another thing to notice is I actually filled in the gaps on pretty much all the heads, to make it so it doesn't have all these weird gaps everywhere, particularly the heads. It makes it look like they have hollow heads. So I fixed that up. He's also got a much more defined mouth. Next on, we'll be moving to Soundwave. This guy actually has a lot of new details. So we got the red on the forearms, red rimmed forearms. Here's a nice 360 view. But the particular part I like, which I'll show you soon, is the inner cassette tape. I've painted the button silver. Also the things around the head, the wrap around the head is also silver now, which is G1 accurate. Before they just painted the front silver and the rest blue, which was a bit odd. They left the blue plastic. So there's those red rimmed forearms. We've got the golden vents of audio vents, and now here's the cool part. So you lift that up, and I've actually detailed the interior with nice grey detailing, and I think it makes for a fantastic detail. It's got some green buttons there to make lights and light silver accents. So you just put the cassette back, which is Laserbeak, which I actually there it goes, which I actually made a Laserbeak for this thing out of Lego, which I'll show you soon. But yeah, I'm particularly happy with this guy came out. I reckon he looks great, and he's much more displayable. Doesn't look as bland. So here we go. We've got the Laserbeak custom I made, and it basically looks like a sparrow, but you get the idea. It's got metallic highlights and things. Alright, so moving on, we're going to move on to Soundwave's other pet, Ravage. So with Ravage, I've done a lot of new highlights for him, particularly some silver accents, whether it be dark silver or light silver, just to break up the sculpt a bit, rather than having it monotone grey. So you'll notice that I've got silver highlights, particularly on joints and vent areas, just to make it more easy on the eye. So as you can see, the back spine details are now dark grey. We've got little tiny silver accents in circles. There's that spine with dark silver. It shines dark when you're not looking at it light, and it shines light when looking at it in light. So we've got a nice silver joint there, silver cog in the head, which attaches to the jaw. What else we got? So basically the whole spine's been the big centerpiece of it all. But, you know, I reckon it looks great. So there's those silver vents on the front of the legs. They're also on the back of the back legs. And he's also got silver teeth now, so I wanted to give the teeth more colour rather than being a solid mute grey. So now they look like they can do some damage rather than just being a part of the sculpt. So yeah, here's another nice view of him just in a static pose, and I'm happy with him. Next up we have Shockwave. So over here, basically, there's only a few touch-ups I did, basically with the hands and the gun, and I added the hose, which was actually pretty simple to add. All I had to do was put a little bit of blue tack in that gap where the backpack is, then just stick a nice posable wire into it, and that makes up the hose for the gun. Also, I coloured the eye in a nice pale yellow to make it more accurate. This is the Combiner Wars Legends class Shockwave, by the way, not a core class Shockwave. But then you see it's pale purple and, well, indigo for like hands and the gun as well, which I'm pleased with. It makes it very G1 accurate. And one thing that you probably don't know about me, I absolutely love ball jointed heads on Transformers. It's nice to pose, and it's just fun to pose around, and it really builds up the movement. Next up we have Skywarp. This guy was a big custom, I have to say, particularly with how I had to make new null rays for him, because he didn't come with null rays, which is very odd. Instead he came with this slingshot thing. But all I did was, it's actually a mixture of Lego and Creo and then combined together. So we've got the afterburners in purple there, some dark grey accents for the little parts on the leg. The waist is now silver, and so is the sides of the upper torso. There's those guns again, the null rays. He's also got purple stripes up the wing, so that looks good. Also his mouth is highlighted in a black to pop with the thing, so that way it doesn't actually look just like a silver faceplate. So yep, just standing him back up. He's basically Starscream, just same modification as Starscream, but just purple and silver. Next up we have the Beast Wars characters, and well, actually one Beast Wars character and one, well, what's it called? The Pretenders. Okay, well, here's Vertebrake. So basically with her, because she's actually a girl, I figured that out. So the only addition to her is I've actually just given her a curvier head, because I've noticed that female Transformers tend to have like curvatures on the head, which like brings it out. It's almost like a headdress, but that's pretty much what I did to her. So yeah, that's pretty much her. But I do have something cool that I wanted to show you guys. So I was messing around with this figure one day, and I thought, well, what if I make like a hybrid between robot mode and dinosaur mode? Like, it could be like some sort of werewolf type transformation. I know it sounds ridiculous, but it actually looks pretty cool, especially when you pose it right. It looks like, because you can have the jaw open, you can have it looming over. It's like a half transformation or a hybrid transformation, and I think it looks really cool, which I'll show you in a minute. It took a while to actually transform because it was being a bit fussy, but when you get it right, it looks really cool, as you're about to see. Like, check that out. That looks pretty awesome. And it's still posable. It's like, and it's a lot more fun to pose rather than the dinosaur, which doesn't have a lot of posability, where this is like a half transformation for more damage, I guess. So yeah, next we have the Pretender Iguanas. Iguanas wasn't a big custom. Like, pretty much all I did was paint actually I used Sharpie and coloured in the horns silver, and same with the toes, the claws, so as you can see, and the teeth. So it's just pretty much silver accents. And I also you'll notice that he has Ravage's gun, because those weapons that you get with them, because they're meant to combine, they don't really look like weapons per se. I mean, Iguanas looks like a weapon, but Skywarp just looks like a slingshot. And the only Transformer I know who uses a slingshot is Wheelie. But anyway, overall, great custom, and I'm happy with this one. He stands out from the crowd thanks to those silver accents. Next up, we're going to review the Autobots and their custom paint jobs. Particularly the one on the far left, which is what I'll be showing first, because it's just Bumblebee, but he's by far the most custom of all the customs I did for the core class figures. This is now Cliffjumper, not Bumblebee. So this guy took a lot of work, because I had to give him some red Sharpie all over him to bring out the reds rather than yellows, and then I decided to go over it with a red paint. I also used a white gel pen to make the Autobot symbol, but it looks chubby now. The Autobot symbol looks a bit messed up. It's like one of those still frames so you get the messed up Autobot symbol whenever they move. So, yep, silver hubcaps, which stand out really nicely. red, grey and black highlights everywhere rather than just the stark yellow. Also, the gun, I've actually painted, well, not painted, Sharpie, but I've actually separated the details on the gun, and you'll notice in a second that Bumblebee and Cliffjumper now have different guns because they're the same gun mold, but they're differently detailed and accented. So next up we have Bumblebee. Again, not too much here, especially compared to Cliffjumper, but he does have silver hubcaps, and he does have a hidden detail, which I really like and I'm excited to show you. So for the gun, we have the silver rod rather than just the silver dots and such. He's got a smile. I'll put a smile on him. He's got black fists, G1 accurate. I reckon it came up really good. I wish he had hip articulation. You'd be able to pull off some really dynamic poses with that. But, you know, and they could fit it. Oh, here's that detail I wanted to show you. So there's exhaust pipes and they're painted silver. Well, Sharpie silver. Gotta stop saying paint. But yeah, I reckon this guy looks great. He's a lot of fun to pose around, and I'm very happy with the new details because it makes it stand out rather than just the yellow fists and stuff. Alright, next up we have Optimus Prime, my favourite. So having a look here, you may have seen him in my Optimus Prime compared collection video, but here is a closer look at those details rather than just a brief overview. So as you can see, the new details that I've done is I've added the orange headlights at the top of his chest. We've got the silver windshield wipers, and you will see rear view mirrors on the sides, and they're painted silver, Sharpied silver too. And for the pelvis area, we've got the yellow lights and the blue area as well. We've got the yellow arrow, which is actually a combination of gel pen and graphic marker. We've got silver hubcaps. I also removed the back kibble because I don't really plan on transforming him. I use them as, well, figures, compose them rather than transform them. I also painted, well, I've got to stop saying painted, Sharpied. Actually, it was a mixture of gel pen because I actually had to put it on a piece of cardboard and dab it at the nose area, which was just super annoying. I don't know why Hasbro didn't paint the nose area on the Optimus, and it's so annoying. Next up, we have Hot Rod. Now, Hot Rod actually has a articulation custom that makes it easier to move, which I'll show you in a second. But as you can see, he's got silver highlights now, which just bring out the detail rather than just the stark red everywhere, or maroon red, or whatever you want to call it. So pretty much he's just got a bunch of new silver highlights where the headlights are concerned for the car, the vehicle mode. He's got silver fists, because in the movie and the show his fists were grey. So over here we have the metal exhaust pipes with the little holes in them because he did shoot the Decepticons with them in the movie. So we got silver highlights, and I really like the fact that I coloured the silver on the shins because it sort of was a hint that he was going to become a Prime, because Optimus Prime has those things too, the weird grill guards. I also coloured in the hips with a dark grey to bring out the vents. But yeah, that's pretty much it for Hot Rod. But all in all, he's good. I also filled the hole in the back of his head, so that was good. But first of all, I want to show you this articulation. So what I did is I essentially just opened the figure up and I sanded down the grids in the joints because I could clearly see that it had a joint that could be used, but I wanted to make it easy to use because my goodness was it difficult. So now it's smooth and nice to use. Next up we have Beast Wars figures. Now Dracodon, I didn't do much with. Actually, I haven't done anything with him, but I thought it'd be rude not to put him in the video. So here is Rat Trap. Rat Trap has new detailing all over. So he's got brown highlights where little joints are concerned, especially towards the legs. I also added white claws or toes, if you will. So white talons. What is it? Yeah, claws. We'll go with claws. So as you can see, we've got brown organic detailing rather than just the grey. I don't know why they didn't paint it. I mean, that was a missed opportunity. So yeah, pink. So he's got the white claws and the gun. The gun has a brand new detailing. So it's got silver pipes and stuff in it. It's got new black detailing to fit with the theme. So it just makes the weapon not look dark grey and just sort of bland. So yeah, that's Rat Trap, and yeah, I've got to say, he came up great. So he's a nice little half 360, because I'm pretty sure that, well, you saw the back when I was showing it. So here's Dracodon. As I said, I didn't do anything with him, because there was nothing to do. He's actually a really good figure, and Dracodon doesn't actually exist except for in toy form. So there wasn't much I could do, but the only thing I did with Vertebrae was give her a more feminine head sculpt. Next we have Megatron's gun, which I've painted to look like his gun. So I've added silver highlights where they need to be, and I left the dark parts dark. And I think that looks fantastic. Alright guys, this is Custom Media Creations signing out. Have a good one.